where I was in life, and I was never going to be able to work on my weight. I was going to have to be stuck with the weight I was at, or either get bigger, one, because I had no motivation whatsoever. And I was worried about the food, worried about being away from home. I really didn't have any expectations whatsoever. I won't say I was negative about it. I did have an open mind about it, and it just took 1 or 2 days to really see that this is going to be good for me. The biggest thing that I would say that the pivotal point was, checked in on that Sunday. Tuesday was really my worst day. It was really body-wise between I had the triple whammy. I cut out, caffeine was dropped, the sodium was dropped, and the sugar was dropped. And it was an eye-opening experience of what my body was feeling, because I really thought I was coming in with a cold. And the whole thing was, God, I cannot believe I've come off to this, and I'm going to get sick. And this is going to put me off 3 or 4 days. It's going to put me behind. And it wasn't until another participant, I was sharing in class how I was feeling, and she was saying, no, what you're experiencing is your body is going through the withdrawal of just regular food. And you're feeding your body the healthy food, and your body right now does not like it. And so once I saw that was happening, it was eye-opening to me of going, how abusive I have been to my body, and realizing that, I was in trouble. And so that kind of turned me around of that experience of the physical ailment of it, the repercussions of what I've been doing, and dropping it was the eye-opener. Everything I buy is fresh. There's nothing processed that I buy, which is totally different than what I was, purchasing at the grocery store before now. One big sign of what I was doing when I got home, I did have my first cheat meal that I had planned out the Saturday after, the week after I left. When I went back to my favorite restaurant for my favorite lunch. I was a little apprehensive because I was afraid that this could be just so good that it could totally derail or start the derailment of what I was doing. And I already told myself I was going to eat half the sandwich and just a handful of fries, because I was not going to deprive myself, because there's no need to try to get something healthy, because that's not a treat, or it was not a reward. They always talk about not being a reward. It wasn't. I just want to test. So I went through, got it, got home, did exactly what I was supposed to do. It was a nice experience where I got that full feeling of knowing I was full, but however, 5 minutes later, it was a heavy blah full. And it was like a full I could remember from the winter and spring of how I would eat and get that sick, and it was a feeling I didn't like. And so even though I've had my cheat meals, I've been home 3 months now, I've had several cheat meals, but there's nothing in between that makes me want to have it more often, because I don't like the full feeling from those cheat meals that I do for my regular, because you just get full unless you don't have that sick that I don't like. I never thought I could. As of today, I'm down 75 pounds from 307 to 232. Clothing, I just went and bought, some new clothes because they didn't fit anymore. Or even the ones that I bought that I left in the package for a month for fear that they would not still fit comfortably. Well, I finally, after a month, decided to just break open one package, and it was just like a 5 or 6 inch gap between my stomach and how I pulled it out. But that's another goal that I like. And plus the shopping was another goal, to actually enjoy shopping and putting on things, because you can find things that you like, and you looked in the mirror and I'm not saying look wonderful, but I was happy with what I saw. I have a regular routine of my physical activity. Between the walking, I do the 5 or 6 miles I do every other day, to now, of course, I come back to Structure House as a Triangle member, and I work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday with my strength training. That was never, ever part of my life. Now it's a priority number one. I really didn't expect, like I said before, I had no expectations, because I had no idea that a place could really change your life the way this is done. My expectation was just maybe feel a little bit better and lose a little bit of weight. I had no idea I would lose this much. And also I had no idea that it would end up changing how I feel with my relationships to other people, where I was open to meet a friend from Boston in New York City for a long weekend, just to go. I just don't do stuff like that. But I had the stamina, I had the energy to go and do it. And I mentally felt better about myself. Here, you have the wonderful Chef John and Chef Jan prepare breakfast, lunch, and dinner for you. All you have to do is make your decision of what you want. You don't have to prepare it, you don't have to buy it, you don't have to fix it. So that was the biggest challenge, is going to the grocery store for the first time, looking for the right items, which I knew what to get because you get the printout of the items that, you know, John and Jan use in the kitchen. And you can find it, no problem, but it was the overwhelming of, it was a flood of emotions of trying to do too much at one time. I was, you know, trying to look for too many items, too many things to make too many different types of meals, and I could tell the anxiety was like building up. Now, that was the one thing I was afraid of, that would then jeopardize the motivation, and that would jeopardize my meal plan that I had here. But I finally come to the conclusion just to stick with one thing. And I knew how to do my chicken stir fry the way I used to do it. That was still fitted. I just didn't marinate my chicken in soy sauce. I just used it later. And I just stuck with that and a skinny sloppy Joe for a while. That I just stuck with two things, and that helped keep my structure going instead of trying to do too many things at one time. I have even told a friend of mine that has weight issues, that is not in the state, that I wish that he could take the time to come out here and enjoy, because he was seeing the improvements that I was making, and, you know, improvements leaps and bounds. I've even told a cousin of mine that, you know, I wish that they could experience this. My main thing also the social part, being open, where I was not very sociable before, and I know this person has kind of some of the same issues too, but here you have a certain level of, it's like a little bubble, and I don't mean a bubble as a bad thing. You know, we're all suffering from the same main issue, but the layers under it are different. And as I told a lot of friends in a support group, that nobody here is a threat, that I feel is a threat to me. And you're so much more open to being with people. So it's not just the, you know, the weight loss thing that comes along with it. It is the total change of your whole attitude toward, you know, your socializing with people, and that has helped me. Piece of advice I would give anybody coming here: you have got to want it. If you have any doubt, you know, I'm not trying to turn anybody away from it, but if you have any doubt that you're just not ready for it, then you shouldn't come, because it's going to be totally useless to you. You have got to come in with that mindset of you want to change your life. Only you can change it. The staff cannot do it for you. They can provide the tools for you, but they cannot do it for you or make you to do it. And when you do come in, have your heart and your mind open 110% and embrace everything. And I know some people get kind of turned off by so many classes. That was my first thing too. The first week is a lot to take in, not just the changing of the environment, but you have a lot to learn. But I will say, go to every single class that you can possibly get your body to that's available, because the information is actually valid. It is meaningful, and they tell you why. It's not just telling you what to do or how to do it, but they give you the deeper thought behind it of why this is useful. Because I know some people think that, you know, it's just something you're going to go to and it's not going to be meaningful. There wasn't one class I didn't walk away with, wow, I cannot believe I have just learned that. First, my biggest transformation I feel like right now was my mind. I was a very negative person, very pessimistic. Like I said, I was a really big recluse. I did not socialize whatsoever. I kind of shut the world off because everything was going wrong, and I just was not. I was not very open to being vulnerable, and that was one thing to learn here. You have got to embrace vulnerability, and it's okay to be vulnerable. It just changed my whole outlook. That, you know, the way things are going, or whether you have ups and downs, that it's okay to love yourself, to take care of yourself, which is something I have learned big from Structure House, is one, that I have the ability to take care of Jamie. And I also have the ability to use tools to help me, whether it's on a good day or a bad day. And the other thing with Structure House, it just, you know, it gave me confidence in myself, to believe in myself again, because I had completely lost all of that with my profession.